Hope you guys are all doing well so far and learning some practical things. Like you said, my name is Eric. I'm from Austin. I've been with Zoho since about 2017, and I'm on the same team as Zach. So I'm a solutions consultant on our consulting team. And today I'm going to talk about Zoho Recruit, which is our applicant tracking system. And how it can just help out with some of your processes. How many people are actually using Recruit right now? In this context for Zoho Recruit, we're going to go through a couple things today. So we're going to go through a couple of challenges. So obviously, there's a lot of challenges on the job market to recruit right now. Everyone knows. And in the past couple of years, it's changed a lot with remote work and then hybrid. A lot of return to office. So it's a lot harder than ever to do it. Also, there's just a lot of different places that you can post out jobs. So figuring out where the best place to actually post, there's because there's so many of them, it's how you can really organize all that information in one area and then actually have a really good screening process for all of those sources. Um, Another one is if, one person recruiting for a position to go through all of the stage to interview, screen, send out all this information for a recruiter is a lot in itself. But whenever we talk about doing multiple jobs and multiple locations for multiple different people, there's definitely a need to be able to organize that process a little bit easier. So, um, also, really important to be able to communicate really well with your candidates, and then just other stakeholders in your business as well that have decisions within that hiring process. And then just lastly, a need to really track a lot of the key metrics that are going on through your process. So, how many people are applying to your open positions, how long it's taking, how well your recruiters are doing. And then we're going to look over a few different automation and AI features within Zoho Recruit that can just make your life a little bit easier too. So, first of all, the experience during hiring for candidates is really important. First of all, it's really the first perception that people are going to get in your company. So, um, if they have a bad experience, usually they're going to attribute that to maybe a bad work culture, just a bad fit, or just that your business is very unorganized, and it might be something that they can go back and actually talk about to other people and affect your reputation. So everyone's been on Glassdoor, and we see how it affects how people decide whether or not they're going to apply to certain jobs or keep interviewing. So it's really good to have a really good hiring process to begin with. So also, it definitely fosters a really positive environment from right from the get go. So people who are going into your company and hired, if you start with a good process from the get go, immediately they're going to trust you a little bit more and have a little bit more loyalty to your company, and this will possibly help you have higher retention rates as well. Um, so this is very true. It is very stressful to hunt for new jobs. I don't know if people have been in here been doing it very much, or if you're recruiting for it. But majority of people that are seeking for jobs right now say it causes a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety and self-doubt. Um, a lot of that is just because there's so much overload. Like, where do you apply? Is a job trustworthy? Is it going to be a good fit? Is this financially going to work out for me? And I actually have a lot of friends that have been applying for jobs, and I think one of the first things they say is when I'm interviewing for people, if I get a bad vibe from the beginning, then they don't really want to continue on because they don't see that time effort being really worth it in the end. So it's definitely stressful for the people looking for jobs, but it's also really stressful to find people because there's so many different options out there. There's so many different candidates. So finding somebody who's a good fit, if you're utilizing your resources right to look in the right places or to talk to the right people, how you organize all of this information, and how effective it really is. So, uh, Zoho Recruit definitely gives you an ability to store all this information in one repository, organize it well, be able to find all of the candidates that you need that are qualified for these positions, and be able to track all of your metrics for hiring, your recruiting. And also, the best part is that you're able to post it on multiple job sources and have one area where you can see all that information come into. So, yeah, a couple of challenges. Literally, there are way more options than before. It's a little bit of overload. So if you're posting for candidates, you literally can go to LinkedIn, Career Builder, Glassdoor, Simply Hire Juju. Like, obviously, there's so many different areas that we can post jobs. So really kind of navigating that space of where is the most effective is really difficult to see, because everybody's different. Everyone has a different diverse pool of what they need for candidates. So there could be different areas that are a little bit more effective than others. Another one is just because there's more than just one source. So it's not just the job boards that you're posting to, but there's a lot of different sources. So on your own career site, for job fairs, there's so many other areas that you can get it. But the most important thing is that you can take all of the candidates from there and have one place to organize them, to analyze them, screen them, and engage them with any follow-up activities. So, um, the last one is just some of the complexities of organizing all of these efforts across your teams. So it's really important to be able to hire, because you have more than just one stakeholder of interviewing. You have people that are in HR, executives, recruiters, interviewers. So everyone might have some input to give on the decision process, even throughout it. So you might need approval processes. So it makes it really hard sometimes to track all this information as well. Um, and then, of course, yeah, Zoho Recruit has the ability to have one area that you can source all of them, track them, and do all of your hire needs from there as well. Um, so first of all, Zoho Recruit is our ATS that is a central repository. So you can organize everything from one area. You can source it out into multiple different areas and get all of it in one dashboard instead of going to multiple different areas or screens to be able to look at it. It also has some really great advanced filtering. So if you have a ton of different applicants in your system, you can use some advanced criteria to search through them and find the best people based off of either location, experience, um, or skill sets. There's also a lot of automation within the system that can help really reduce a lot of repetitive tasks, writing emails that are going to be the same over and over, or just some workflow rules that cut down on a lot of time that you're going to spend. Again, there's a lot of collaboration within it to help you speak with your team and also communicate with candidates. And then there's a lot of reporting and analytics that can help identify different areas in the hiring pipeline and then improve it later on. Also, we have some really great integrations with other products as well, but mostly with Zoho People. It has really great onboarding integration with Zoho Recruit. And then one of the nice things about Zoho Recruit is that it also comes with a mobile application. So if you're on the go, you can access all that information from your phone. Um, Okay. So, to begin with, the process is pretty straightforward, I think, for everything. Once you actually decide that you have a job opening and you create a job description, you usually post it into multiple different areas of sources that you have. So, whether it's going to be all of your job boards, your own website, your social media, or if you're even getting referrals in, essentially, once you post it and you start getting candidates to apply, you're going to get all those resumes and be able to parse that information and then organize each of them by tagging them by their source and by what job that they're doing. Once you have all that information, you can start to analyze which of the candidates are most qualified for which positions, and then go all the way from scheduling your interviews to conducting them, getting any documentation that you might need, and then sending out offer letters as well. So, um, yeah. Also, just one thing that I wanted to mention too is that with a lot of this automation that you can do is actually create workflow rules. That way, it can update fields, it can send out email notifications, create tasks. That way, you're not dropping the ball throughout this entire process, and you're not depending on human error to make sure that this is not happening. So, we have a lot of really great workflow rules in this, as well as some other automation like um, blueprints. So if you have a very stringent way of how you're recruiting people and you have a step-by-step process that you don't want anyone missing anything through each of the steps, you can actually create a blueprint that requires them to go through each of every single step in the order that you want, and then also have some automation that will trigger throughout each of those steps as well. And we also have some assignment rules and approval processes as well that you can add into it. So So we have a couple of different features within Zoho Recruit that are actually powered by AI. So our AI is called Zia. But one of the first ones is that it has the ability to write some job descriptions for you. That way, it just cuts out a lot of time and redundancy of creating this. So essentially, what you would be able to do is just add in simply a job title. Zia will fill in the rest of the information. So it's saving you a lot of time and effort. And then you can come in here and actually customize it to you want. So you don't have to use it exactly, but it can get you basically most of the way of what you want, and you can update the information from there. It also will include keywords in the description that will actually be tagged onto any of the job postings that you have. That way, they're a little bit more effective to where they're going. Um, but yeah, so it literally you can just like type in account coordinator right here. And then it's going to suggest everything from like a job summary, key responsibilities, required qualifications, desired skills, and then you can come up here and just edit any of the information that you want. So um, again, there's a lot of different places that you can post, and I think this is probably one of the biggest benefits of just using ATS in general, because if you're posting on LinkedIn or, Glassdoor or Career Builder, all of that information still needs to go to one place that you can organize it. I've actually helped companies that weren't using any ATS and had a lot of different candidates from a lot of different areas, and they were using Excel sheets. And there were so many things that they were missing out on, like scheduling, tasks, communication, and they were having so many people drop off during all their hiring processes. So just having this can really be a game changer. That way you can have all of that information in one dashboard and organize it in a very effective way. So it's also nice too that you'll get some metrics after a while to see which of these sources is the most effective for your business. And then you can make further decisions on what you're getting a better ROI out of. And it definitely helps improve the process later on as well. One of the things that Zoho Recruit does is it actually gives you the ability to create this career site. So essentially, you can build this career site where you can post in your own jobs. You can brand it to your company, and you can post it into your own website. And candidates are able to go onto your website and actually apply through that portal. Um, and all of the applications that come through it has a seamless integration where if they come in and apply on this career site, you'll all go into Zoho Recruit and tag it that it came from that specific source. Um, it also will give you, again, some analytics on how many people are visiting your sites, how many people are viewing what jobs, and how many people are applying to it over time. So it can make it a little bit more effective. Actually, on the career site, there's also a couple of different AI bots that are added there for candidates to be able to use. So one of these is actually the sourcing bot. So this bot actually interacts with the candidates when they're visiting your website, and it guides them to different job searches or applications, and it allows them to create some account information as well. Also, it can go through their information and parse through it and see which of the jobs are most effective matches for them as well. So it just kind of streamlines the application process for them, and they can actually go in here and upload their resumes right from the bot, so they don't have to go to multiple different pages to see it. So it's very helpful. Another one is the screening bot as well. So after they apply for jobs, this is a bot that engages them immediately. So if you have some pre-screening requirements that you want candidates to go through, maybe some assessments, customized questions to evaluate the applicants when they're going through to see if they meet a minimum requirement or not, they can go through and actually take this on the bot immediately, and it will give them real-time feedback immediately on the responses that they give, whether they're a fit or not. And then all the activities that they do through these bots actually get recorded on their candidate profile in Zoho Recruit. So you can always go back to that information. Um, a great feature that we have in it is going to be our resume parser. So essentially, there are two ways that you can upload information: is manually uploading it, and then having a job email that they can send in their resume. And what the email parser will do is whenever someone it'll give you a forwarding email address. So whenever you email a resume within that, what it will do is the system will parse through the information and pull it out and create a candidate profile or update an existing one that's going on. So it will go through any of it and try to find any of the information that it has and then upload it into the system. So it's a very easy way that they can just send an email. You don't have to manually choose and pick all the important information and get it. So and there's a couple of guardrails that you can make essentially when you have the email parser is that you can kind of play it fast and loose, and make it pretty lenient to where you just trying to get any of the information or any of the resumes to create candidate profiles based off of it. And it might not be as accurate, but you'll have a lot more of the candidate profiles be created. Or you can do it a little bit more strict to where you want very specific information. If it's not filled out, then it's not going to create a candidate profile based off of those resumes. So, or you can pick the in between and be the Goldilocks. So, um, gives a little bit more self control. Okay, so essentially, that's a most of our sourcing. So basically coming from creating our job descriptions to posting it out in different areas and starting to get a lot of resumes and candidates. Now we're going to kind of go over a little bit more of like some of the features that help you actually assess your candidates and the actions afterwards to go through the interviewing process and hiring. So again, we have Zia Assist that actually will help you generate a lot of emails and texts. And these can be like initial outreach emails, follow-ups, or interviews. And this is just to make it a lot easier. So whenever you go in to conduct an email, there will be a generate by Zia. They'll just give you some information to like add it. That way you don't have to go in and write every email automatically or manually. And it gives you a couple of different options, whether it's a short one if you want to do it more casual or professional, and it just kind of sets the tone and length for all of that. So it just makes it a lot easier to generate those emails. As well as we do have email integration within Zoho Recruit, so you can integrate your email that you have with it and keep all of your communication that you have between you all on the candidate profile as well. So you don't have to keep going back and forth from your email in Zoho Recruit. Um, Also, Zia has help with matching candidates through a little bit of machine learning with our AI. Essentially, what it does is it goes through a job that you're going through and it'll analyze the job requirements and it'll automatically suggest some of the candidates that fit those requirements. And it essentially assesses them within a matching score up to 100 and will rank all of the ones that have matches to it. And then what you can do is just choose the ones you want to associate to that job. You might have candidates that be qualified for multiple different open positions or vice versa. So you can also do it from the other side where if you're on the candidate, you can go ahead and match them to potential job openings that they have, essentially with the same kind of criteria where it's going to give you a matching score and then also set them into a ranking. So Zoho Recruit has a really good, easy way to be able to do your interview management. So first of all, you can send out interview scheduling with them. So essentially from either the job opening or the candidate, it's really easy to just choose a date and time. It's also really easy to assign interviewers in your system to those particular ones, and then also send out invitations to the candidate and also the interviewer. That way, no one's missing that communication. We have a lot of syncs with multiple different calendars, of course, Zoho Mail, Google, Outlook. So whenever you're scheduling all these things, it'll automatically enter all that information on it as well. Also, there's a way to actually look at all of your interviewer availability. That way you're not double scheduling them or putting them too close to different interviews. So it gives them some more organization to be able to be ready. So, and again, all of the notifications that go out can be automated. That way you don't have to manually write an email to ask people to join an invite or actually go in and invite them. So we also support, I know most people now are doing video interviews, at least for an initial one. So we have some really great integrations with Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google, and then we have Zoho Meeting as well. So So yeah, there's it's not just like really important to communicate well with your candidates, but it's also really important to collaborate with your team if you have a lot of stakeholders that are going throughout the process. So there's a lot of different ways within the system that you're able to communicate really easily. And one of those again is just your email integration. You can keep all of that communication between a candidate and you stored inside Zoho Recruit. But there's also some other features like adding on notes that you can actually at your colleagues in the system as well. So if you're writing a note, particular somebody says, "Hey, this guy looks really well," you add it at the person, they'll get a notification or email that will have them go back. Also, the notifications work if you schedule people into different interviews or assign them tasks. All of that's automatically going to go in and alert them as well. Okay, so there is an Ask Zia feature on here that's essentially like a recruitment assistant. And this one allows you to just interact with any of the recruiting data that you have inside the system, and it uses natural language. So essentially, that means it functions like a smart chat box. It understands your questions. You can ask it in real time, in real natural language, quick questions. And it'll give you either answers, it'll create reports, or give you insights without you having to go through and filter in a bunch of information or manually create any of these reports. So it makes life a lot easier. It's also really easy to see what's going on for everybody within the system because we have some really great dashboards. So there's a couple of different insights that we can look at. This one in particular is actually going to be for an individual user. So you can look through every single one of your recruiters or your users in it and see all of the active jobs that are going on, how many people are applying to specific jobs, how many interviews they're doing, how many offers they've made. And so you can get some more key metrics on individual people and just kind of see how that they're performing. It also works as well as per department. So if you have multiple jobs in multiple different departments, you're able to essentially do the same thing and see how people are doing in specific departments, and how effective they are to actually hiring some of the needs that you have. So we support pipelines as well. So everyone has a different set of steps for your hiring pipeline. And it's really important and crucial that you understand exactly what you need out of it. Um, that way you can adapt whenever you're finding some pitfalls. So it's our pipeline is extremely customizable. So essentially what we have here is each stage of the hiring pipeline going from screening to submitting, doing an interview, or either getting an offer, hired, or rejection. And along each of these steps, there could be different tasks that are assigned to different types of people. There could be different actions that we need to update information in the system, maybe notifications or emails be sent out. And throughout using this pipeline, you can use any of the automation to just do that for you instead of making sure that humans make errors and someone's dropping the ball on scheduling something or doing a follow up. It's also really nice because in the pipeline for either your candidates and your jobs, it's a Kanban board. So essentially, it's kind of like a Trello board where you can drag and drop people from one stage to the next, and then click in that information and add in more if you need to. Also, all the stages are really customizable because it comes with a set of defaults. So if you're pretty new in your recruitment stage and don't really know, we kind of have a set of default they'll allow you to go through. But then when you start getting more information to say, hey, I need to add in different steps or these don't work, you can totally customize it to your own use case. And with that being said too, it will track a lot of your metrics so you can start to see where your pitfalls are. So if there's a particular stage where people are dropping out, or there's a particular interviewer that's like having a difficult stage at one point, you can identify that point and then make some readjustments to make sure that it's being a little bit more effective as well. Okay, so yeah, ZoRecruit has some pretty good reporting in it. So there's a lot of standard reports that are gonna come with it. So most of it that I see is gonna be mostly about your job openings. So you can see a lot of the status of what openings you have, what's filled, maybe what's on hold, how long it's taking some of those to be filled. Also, there's a lot of reports for just the candidates as well. So source-wise, where are you getting the best candidates? That information can be extremely important to have whenever you're trying to decide where's the most effective place to source out your jobs. Um, And then also recruiter reports as well, just to see their performance, like see how effective they're being. Maybe again, you can see what stages they're having the hardest time with, or what areas that they're better at to engage with. We also support custom reports as well. So if you don't go through and see something here, you can create some custom reports as well. Any of the information in the modules that are in Zoho Recruit, you're able to report on it. But if there's anything that you need with, maybe another application that you're using, or multiple modules, there is an integration with Zoho Analytics as well, that you can actually sync the data over as well. So there's a feature in it that is really good at actually sending out the offer letter and managing the entire process once you have put an offer out there. So essentially, what it will do is it will create offer letters for you. It will send them, track them, and then it will manage any of the job offers on the platform afterwards. So it kind of streamlines your final stage of hiring. Um, without having to do it too manually. So, you can also create different templates for your offer letters. That way you can reuse them instead of having to do it by scratch every single time. So it just save you a lot of time and effort as well. Also, whenever you send them out, there's a really great feature of when you create templates in emails and also in offer letters of called merge tags. So essentially what you do is you add in a merge tag on these templates and it will pull in any of the data. So if I'm sending every single one of you an email and I say just hashtag first name, hello, it will literally add in everyone's information on it. So any information you have in Recruit that you just want to add that data instead of going and searching for their birthday or their phone number, you can actually use the templates to just auto populate that information. So it makes life so much easier. It also supports e-signatures too. So if you're sending out something for them to sign, we also have a ton of different integrations, either with like DocuSign, but specifically Zoho Sign as well, that you can send directly from Zoho Recruit. And then I know when a lot of people actually send out an offer letter for it, there could be need for other people to approve it. So it might be a hiring manager, maybe an executive. There is an entire approval process that you can set up to make sure that everyone is getting the information they need and appropriately approving it through the line before anything gets sent out or to make any mistakes. So the last thing that I kind of wanted to go over with was we we have a really great integration with Zoho People. So I know he's going to go over a little bit more of Zoho People after this, but I think it's really important to kind of bridge the gap here, to make sure that in Zoho Recruit we're essentially getting all of our pre-onboarding information. And I just recently did a really big project with a company that we're hiring tons of people every month, tons of different locations using Excel sheet. So we essentially went in and helped them create an entire hiring pipeline within Zoho Recruit, and then also did an integration and did an implementation for Zoho People. So Zoho People and Zoho Recruit actually have a really great integration that you can set up. It's extremely easy, and there are going to be two different types of onboarding whenever you get in from Zoho Recruit into Zoho People. So the first is going to be your candidate onboarding. This is essentially anything that you're gonna be doing before you actually hire them. For example, what we had for the company we worked with is they would offer people a position, but it was contingent on passing a drug test on the first day. So essentially what they would have is a candidate onboarding, and in that onboarding, you can actually sync all the information that you have from the candidate and push all of that over into Zoho People. And then within the candidate onboarding, you can get any of the documentation that they need, anything that they need to sign. And then once they're actually hired, there's an employee onboarding as well that actually adds in the LMS feature for it, adds in some tasks, checklists, approval processes, e-sign, and everything else, documentation that you need to move from there. So, all right. Well, thank you all so much.